Hi everyone, welcome to another episode. Today we're gonna continue checking the Bitcoin price and see what actually has been happening in the last hours and days since of last video. And as you can see in the daily, we have been doing nothing more than just going and this consolidation since May 10th, which is completely fine for the Bitcoin price, even though we still have all this tension in the Middle East. We're gonna try to observe what's going on in what's gonna happen in the next 2 to 4 days, and also in the next weeks, in order just to have a little more picture, as always, to don't be all the time finding a way to don't be all the time in the chart and lose our mind. So also, if you want to make any trade of any moment, if you want to go long with the futures, you can use Bitonics. You can go long all the time when the market pumps, or short when the market dumps. Whatever you bullish or bearish, it just give you the best tools in the market to trade smart. And always remember risk management fast. So before we enter into the charting, I also want to point out something that has been happening in the space, which is quite interesting, how people are navigating this and freaking out. I could say that like they're kind of making everybody freaking out. He's this Dr. Profit Crypto, which actually the way his writings make like is pretty sure, it's almost sure all that's gonna happen. He say Bitcoin would drop below the 100 in the next coming days. The target I set 93 to 95. The stock market will follow with 7 to 10% drop as well. More red candles ahead of us. We will see a massive bounce after all this. Some necessary pain indeed now. Also, you have this bearish target from Alejandro XBT, would say in the next short term, I have zeroed out that we are going to reach 90k or 92. We will test the lower trend line and see what happens. What will happen if we break out in rising wedge to the downside and don't want to even see? He's saying that we will go to 30k. It is happening, and he's watching the weekly chart. So I think he's just exaggerated a little bit. I don't know this guy. Let me see. He's quite known in the space. So yeah, trading charts. He's just a little bit freaking out, I guess, with his projection. I could see Bitcoin dropping to 30k if more countries start to join to the issue in the Middle East, and then we have a third world war. In that case, I could see like dropping or during the bear market, because right now I don't really see it. I don't know. I mean, he's just going to the weekly. Let's see. I don't really see it. I mean, he's pointing out, but it's just they're just lines. It's not what the market actually is saying. No, as I have been repeatedly saying, we have this new green valley being created here, which is the bullish indicator for the weekly. We are also above the orange line, and always retesting the blue line, which is the perfectly fit for bull market. We handle it completely nicely. Plus, we have this trend line, as I had been pointing out before, and the RSI is just taking a break, and we're not falling. We're consolidating in the weekly, so it looks completely fine. So it's nothing to freak out in the chart, as he was mentioning his post on X. I don't really see it, only in the picture of I was mentioning before. Also, you have James. He's quite known already in market in his I think he's also freaking out. Let me see. Say we will have some kind of COVID like black swan event within the next 48 hours as the world escalates. Okay, 48 hours. Where this was post? This was post the 17th. Okay. Fear will rip across all financial market as news escalate across the world. The smartest and smarter money will be buying your fear because they understand it. Okay, so he's pretty much saying that we're gonna have this black swan like during the COVID year, and the market gonna suffer a huge candle. Probably he's under to 30,000 as well. And from then, everybody's gonna be buying the dip, and it's gonna bounce. I mean, if we go to 30, I mean, that's insane. We're talking about coming all the way here. I don't really see that. I think this is just a little bit how he's also like sure that it's gonna escalate in the next 48 hours. Yeah, Trump had been quite dumb with all the posts he has been doing. It's nothing about fixing anything, and then just escalating more and more and more. But hopefully it won't happen. I cannot really say that for sure it won't happen, and we're not gonna have a breakdown from here. But as the market shows, since the escalation start, actually the market give a fuck. I mean, Bitcoin have been just working as notebook. I mean, it's just doing his normal consolidation before having a big laid up and price discovery as everybody is just waiting for. So yeah, and the next week I just would expect to keep us above this orange line, or in any case drop below, just to liquidate pretty much everybody that have the stop loss over here. But I don't see it lower than that. I mean, if we fell to the 96 to 92, like he was saying, he was pretty much saying to 92. I mean, if we fell there, and then we just need to see, because what could happen, like I was saying, it can just drop into the 97. I don't really see it, but just to liquidate, depending how many trades are in that area, we could see like dropping there and then a huge candle completely bold immediately. Then the other scenario, the 92, which I don't really see it, would be like falling to 92. But in that case, we need to be careful that we don't do anything like this, because that will bring the price completely down. I don't really think that this is gonna happen, but it's just something to keep in mind, according just to see the other scenarios there. These people was commenting, which I don't really see. We remarked that again. Just keep an eye, and the price should stay in the orange line in order to continue going up as the last leg of the Elliott waves we have been talking in this channel. And if you have not seen or heard that before, you can just follow me on X as OsBlockSpace, and here in the pinned post you can see this one, where at the time was 120, but I mean, we're not far from there. I think now with the time it's gonna go 135 more or less. Yeah, and I don't really understand why people are bearish. Yes, there have been all this escalation in the Middle East, but that already exists and the market didn't care. We have the other war happening with Ukraine, and the market doesn't really care anymore about those conflicts for now. Yeah, so I wouldn't send it so quickly to 30 as these people was mentioning. And actually what Marty is saying here, this is like a summary of a Bloomberg article, Actually, yes, they according to that, the U.S. banks will start printing money into existence, which that means come more liquidation to the market, and also it go with the hands of what Elliot was saying. If this continue, America would go to the fact of bankrupt, and all taxes revenue will go to paying interest of the national debt with nothing left for anything else. And what that means, that it was the printer, it will start again to just print and print and print and print and print and print and print. You can see how insanely this chart is. Since the 16, according to the chart, it had been just going parabolic, and there's no way to stop that more than printing more money, because the system cannot stop. They are just base and debt, and the only way to calm the debt is just printing more money and having more debt, which is good for all the hard assets. And also what Chris Bruniski have been mentioning, the BTC charts always show higher low through every needs-bit bump of worry. And yeah, it's completely true. We have been checking every time that is whatever thing happening, it just, the market is just showing up that doesn't care, because the chart just saying, I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna break to the upwards, and I give a fuck what everybody's saying. So don't really pay attention to news. Yes, it's important to know, but at this point, when the news already came up and nothing has happened to the market, there's nothing to be worried. So I was just, what I was expecting for the next weeks, it's just the price making more liquidations, up and down, up and down, up and down. The RSI, it will cool off, which is good for the price in the next weeks, because once it's cool off, it can again have these trends to go up. You can see what happened. We're pretty much in this area, and the 4 hours you can see it better. We had been here just falling and falling and falling and falling. The price didn't fall a lot. I mean, it just came from 109 to 103. That's it. I have been doing nothing. Just in this long consolidation. Let me change this to the narrow. Yeah. I have been just in this massive consolidation since May, and it probably would continue there. So just if you want to enter to a long, I would never recommend to go to a short on Bitcoin. You can do it in cryptos, but no Bitcoin. But if you want to take advantage of the market, just take long when the price go between this line, which is around the 100 and below 100, and the price will go again up, because we still seeing that we are in this consolidation phase. So let me see. I wanted to show you something else as well, and this is why it is so important to everybody have the time to do it, but it's really important to pay attention what actually Bitcoin is and why it's here and why do you need it. It doesn't matter if it's 100 or 200 or 5,000. Everybody needs to have it, and I'm gonna play this video so you can understand a little bit what I'm talking about.
Imagine you wake up one day and almost all the money you have in the bank is gone. This is what happened to many people in my country, Cyprus, in 2013. I know what you're thinking. This must be fake. Well, listen closely, because this can also happen to you. The root of the problem was very clear. Banks. For years, the two biggest banks of my country, like Bank and the Bank of Cyprus, bought a lot of government bonds from Greece. This basically means that they were lending billions to the Greek state. with the hope that they will earn an interest when the bonds mature. This doesn't sound too bad of a deal, but then the disaster came. In 2012, Greek struck what was called the PSI deal. In basic terms, the Greek government told to everyone that invested in Greek bonds that they will recover roughly 25% of the bonds true value. So all of a sudden, the bonds that Cyprus banks had were worth way less. This was a very big hit, so the banks in Cyprus needed a rescue. More exactly, to recover the economy, Cyprus needed 23 billion euros, which
Yeah, so I mean, you can watch the whole video, but pretty much what come next is that they can start to enter the European Central Bank and many other banks in order to help, and some of the people got some percentage of the money they used to have in the bank, but you were never gonna recover everything. You're never gonna recover everything once they go bankrupt, and this is how all of them function like this, which is quite insane that nobody really questions themselves what actually happened when you put your money in a bank, what actually the bank do with that. And yeah, it is just so easy to don't question anything because you just see numbers and your bank account, but actually no, your money is just imaginary money that the banks are just creating out of nothing, the same that the government with the central banks. And on top of that, they're lending, they doing a lot of investments for good, for bad with money, and you don't get anything in return. Only the banks get the return if they do it well. Because in the worst case scenario, it happened exactly what Phidias is in this video, no? They just get bankrupt and you get fucked. And you don't get any help. Yeah, some people would say that in the European Union, you have this like, I think there is like 100,000 euros that you are kind of protected by the law that you will get the money. I mean, the question is like, do you really gonna get that money, and how long it will take in order to get the money, and what are you gonna do during the time you need that money because you lost it? I don't think you're gonna get it 24 hours after that happened. So yeah, and that's why I don't really understand people are still like believing a lot into the fiat banks. Now with crypto you can just easily get a card and spend it everywhere, and that's it. You don't need any intermediary, you don't need any bank. You can just exist without any fucking dinosaur bank. So I would recommend to everybody just to get out of that. Of course you can have a little bit of fiat because sometimes we still haven't had that transition yet to fully crypto, but you should try to have less as possible in those mafia banks, which actually is just no helping at all to anybody. In that case, you can also go to Bybit. I'm gonna post some links in the description below, and then you can also create an account there. You can just either trade, or you can also just send your crypto there and apply for I think that's Visa or debit MasterCard, and you can just use your crypto without question anywhere in the world, and you can buy whatever grocery or whatever you want, and you don't need these banks. Yeah, so just jump into the next topic. I also wanted to see this. I don't really agree with him in checking the price action of Bitcoin, but it's according to Solana, he's saying like many altcoins, and Solana is in a downtrend. I mean, everybody know like many altcoins are in a downtrend. You don't need to be a genius for that. What we have seen in the last few weeks is a dead cat bounce. Okay. And expected to see March downside likely drop to 60. Let me see which time frame is this one. 260. Let's see if that actually makes sense or not. So he's pretty much saying 260. Oh my god, let's see on the weekly. That would bring the price. Actually, if you're interested in whatever icon you're holding, you're bleeding, and you hoping to go to the moon, just write a comment below, and I will be checking it in the next video. Let me see, 260. Oh my god. I doubt it, to be honest. We can drop to the 90s, even to 80s, but 60, I don't really see it. I see all that prediction during the bear market. Right now, yes, the Solana doesn't really look so well, to be honest, because it's having this downtrend, but it doesn't mean it's going to 60 or to 0. Look, I was saying to 20, for example. I don't really see that. What we could be expecting is actually, let me see, I'm gonna mark it here. What I could see is the price actually bouncing somehow. And the worst case, let me see, what is this? Yeah, the brush. Either we make a higher low, or we start to bounce like this. We still have some time, and according to this, we're potentially gonna have another, either another red valley or a really small green valley with that. Actually, yeah, we need to track it with the time and then see what's gonna happen, because if you take a look to the ETH Solana price, no, this is the 8 Bitcoin, let me see. Here's Solana versus Ethereum. You see that's start to go. It's really interesting, because finally the price start to go in a bear trend, and this is why we see this trend in Ethereum. As you can see here, this was a prediction from before, and it's still there. We have in the same consolidation that Bitcoin over here, and you see all this trend from here. No, people were just calling it to 0 pretty much, and now it's having this bit strange. It make a lot of sense to continue the path. You see, we're starting to enter this territory where the line can have some strength to the upwards, and we're starting to have this green valley to the upside for Ethereum for the next weeks and months, which has make a lot of sense when you see Solana losing momentum. So I would, if you holding Ethereum, or if you want to get, I would recommend you to do it as soon as you see the price is dropping, because this will just explode when nobody is paying attention to it. And Solana, unfortunately, will continue going down. Cannot really say exactly where, but probably to this area, to the around the 404, and then from there we can continue observing what actually is gonna happen. So yeah, just keep an eye to the Solana price. But yeah, again, like he's mentioning here, it is Alejandro. I don't really see to 60. Let's see, probably the bear market we can get a better entry, but that would be nice, but I don't really see it right now. And just to finish, I want to show you this video, and maybe you can question yourself why actually that happened, and write it in the comment below, or yeah, I can just explain you in the next video. So the price of housing in Bitcoin is always the price of housing in Bitcoin is always going lower and lower. Let me see.
In 2012, you need 30,000 Bitcoin to buy this house. A decade later, it had only cost you 20 Bitcoin. And today, it can be yours for 5. If home prices keep falling in Bitcoin, why do they keep rising in dollars?
Exactly. Why? Just think about it and like the video, subscribe, and see you next time.